Hello, everybody, and welcome back to some intermission content here on Ontario Campus Carball. I'm back here with Noah as we watched the last game earlier, Seneca versus Queens. Very good game. Seneca came out very dominant in a couple of those matches, winning 6-1 and 5-0 in games 2 and 3. But the other two, much closer affairs, though Seneca did come out on top of that series 3-1 in the end. Now, I know you were just popping over to your other call to talk with the York guys because they're coming up next in about a half hour here against Sheridan. How are they feeling going into that next match?
Oh, they're confident. They like their odds. We have Bosco Boy, the absolute goat, rank X. He should be getting pro tryouts soon for LCS. No, I'm kidding, but he's really solid, and he's taught us a lot of fundamentals of how we should be playing. We also have Nitro, who's new to York as well. He's one of Bosco's friends, and he's like a rank B/B plus player, and he's been a very solid addition to the team, very mechanical. And we also have Steve Once, who was on the team last year, and it's sort of a flip flop between me and him for who usually plays as the third player. But next week there's CRL Open on Wednesday, and I have classes, so he'll have to fill in for that. So we're trying to get him as many reps as possible before then, so we can perform well and hopefully prove to everyone that we are not just a lackluster team that comes from New York. We can really compete here. So
Yeah, I think there's one of the sentiments that I had heard in some circles was sort of that it's Bosco and his merry band of men, as I would like to put it, of Bosco and then other players who are very good at Rocket League but not Bosco, and I think the chemistry on a team like that matters a lot more than the individual players to some degree. But I know we'd mentioned earlier, like Bosco is a huge addition, no matter what. He was our number two ranked player in the entire league. And how has having him and I mean Nitro obviously knowing him before coming to York, how has that helped the sort of dynamic over at York, and how are they enjoying their time so far in the York RL team?
I mean, it's great. So this sort of unspoken thing we have with each other is Bosco Nitro tried to teach me about Rocket League. So Bosco is obviously a really really solid player, and he's less of known as like the mechanical player and more of like the fundamentals, and that really helps me learn because when I see someone like I don't know like first killer on the ball or something, I'm like I can't recreate that. Like I'm not that's impossible for me. My fingers can't do that. But when I see Bosco, the way he plays is very solid, very fundamental, and he plays this role, supporting role on our team that allows me and Nitro to be confident in going for the ball and playing. So that's really helped. And as for the second part of your question, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, York didn't have a roster before Bosco and Nitro joined. We, as you might know, we weren't able to even come to the last OCC because one of our players had already kind of been done with York and Rock League and everything, and so that was really disappointing. But you know, that sort of thing happens, and so it was going to be me, Steve, Once, and just I don't know, like a third we could find. There was no one really to show up, and out of nowhere, Bosco and Nitro came out of nowhere. And they were said like, I mean, it's great. And then on the other side, I was going to say, um, they're both going into business. I'm in my last semester actually of business marketing at York University, about to graduate, and funnily enough, they're both going into the same program I did. Although Nitro is going into IT, Bosco's actually going into marketing himself. So it's kind of been like this yin and yang where they teach me about Rocket League and I teach them about college and university and the experience and what it's like at York. And I mean, I've been trying to get them out, Cubics. I swear, I've been trying to get them to come out, but they love their Discord den and their and their Rocket League. So it's tough whenever because we have classes on different days. Whenever they're they're not on campus, they don't want to make the trek out to, because York's known as a commuter school, the trek out to York to even just meet up or anything, which is fine. I don't expect like people to make like the hour long trip to come, but um, but yeah, compared to I mean, it's sort of similar to with the other teams I had too, like Prime and Hargan in the past, and then Steve Onse. I didn't even meet them in person until OCC.
Mm.
So to glaze you a little bit, um, as much as I've been glazing Bosco Nitro, this land, like I mean, it's essential for Canadian Rock League. If I'm going to be honest, like it's hard for these Canadian teams, minus maybe like St. Clair Green, who's like Cy and Jazzy, who get paid to play. Minus that team and maybe like their B team, like Christian, and now looking at like Brock and Durham as well, to compete at the high like international level, where like you have your Northwoods and your Fishers and all those teams that get like paid to play. We don't get paid to play. In fact, if I'm gonna be honest, York doesn't really support esports that much. We're lucky enough to be called varsity, but we don't have like a hub. Whereas like I look at these like the St. Clair, they did a LAN and it's like at their $1 million facility, and I'm like, we could only dream. But um, yeah, I mean to keep, I could keep rambling on, but I'm sure you have more questions to ask. Um, but yeah, I just want to say I appreciate OCC for everything you guys do. So yeah.
I appreciate hearing that. It is kind of cool that Bosco's going into the same program as you, and sort of so. How has it also in that vein been sort of being a like off the floor mentor for him as well? Because like especially joining a any college or university here. Like I was chatting with Reeker off of Fanshawe not too long ago during the Open qualifiers, and he was like, "Yeah, it's exciting to have the LAN in April. It'll be my first one since I'm a freshman, that kind of thing." And obviously, the same goes for Bosco in this regard too. So, what is his sort of thoughts on like being able to come out to a LAN, and how is it sort of being able to mentor him as sort of an older student at the school, just as like classmates and people in the same program?
I mean, I've told them as much as I can. My first year was very different from what they have now because obviously I started in 2020, which was peak COVID, so all my classes were online. But what I will say is, in my second year when I joined York Rocket League, that's when I like met my major friend group, and like I've been talking to those people ever since, and we've been all been like really close, and we've had the opportunities to meet up at like OCC, St. Clair Land. So just I've been just telling them like don't take opportunities you have for granted. I know that they're a little more like on the shyer side, and they don't like going out as much, which is totally fair. I understand that. I was exactly like them at their age, but I've been trying to push them to like go out, join clubs, do the extracurriculars that put you out of your comfort zone. Like for me, like I joined the esports club in 2021, and I was a part of it for 5 years, and just knowing those people just made such a huge difference. It made me feel connected to the campus, whereas in 2020 I was like so disconnected that I was literally playing Rocket League training well in my classes on my side monitor. It was just so different. Whereas now, like being next to people, like the difference is insane. I can't express enough how like lucky they are for having this opportunity. Like I feel lucky too for just being able to go to university in general, but obviously like and I feel so lucky that they're on my team now and that they can, take York to another level before I even leave. Like
Mm-hmm.
our team was always pretty solid. Like Hargan was the number one Indian player before he moved to Canada. Before they were even in RLCS, and Prime, he was like SSL. He was one of the goats. He like one of the coaches from Boise. He knew him pretty well, so we got coaching from him. So I'm not saying I had like a nobody roster. Like we did well. We went to every OCC. We did
Mm-hmm.
well on land. We got our prize money and got our name out there. But the difference between like them and like a Bosco is insane. So yeah, like it's just beautiful, and knowing that the team's in good hands in the future, like the fact that their first year they have at least 4 more years left, is very makes me very happy too. and they're just grinding to improve. Like the passion I see from them as well. Like Ax was mentioning it in the chat. He's our unofficial official coach, and he's been, you know, he came along and helped us mentally through the CRL tryouts, and you know, just let it made us calm down. Like without him, I don't think we would have gotten as close to qualifying for CRL as we did. If I'm going to be honest, like obviously in the lowers we kind of underperformed and we got top 48, but in the uppers we nearly beat OC, who ended up making it out of our bracket into official CRL. We were one goal away in overtime, which is just incredible for me because like I'm like a nobody player. Like I'm just, and then I tune into like Tryhouse's stream or something. He's like, "Who is this York University roster? Who are these? Like I know Bosco, but who are these guys? They're good." Like it's just so cool to see like York University getting that recognition. It really deserves for a team of really lackluster players who don't get paid to play. We just play for the fun of it and for the land. So again, appreciate it. And I always keep wrapping the questions back around to how great OCC is, but I can't like understate enough how great these lands are. So yeah, just appreciate that.
Yeah, speaking of the lands, you've actually participated at every single OCC land and sort of seen the evolution of this league and this brand and what OCC is sort of along with a lot of people. There's a few people from like the real beginning, like some of the TMU guys. I remember Joel or Cressy on Durham. They're one of their players and historically their coach last season. Was one of the original players. He came out with Drew, who does also do his own streaming on Twitch and is one of our main users of the self promo channel. So go check him out. Very good dude. But yeah, you were also one of the first sort of teams to come out, and York had sort of three semi unofficial teams, I believe, that participated in that LAN. And so, how was your experience with that? Because I think that was the first LAN that you have played in up to that point.
Right. So that was just after COVID. Like I say, just after COVID. It was years after COVID, like the
Mm-hmm.
main hit. But just being able to meet my teammates in person, like that was the first time I'd ever met them. Let me be clear, which is crazy to me. And then after that, it sort of opened the floodgates to like meeting at you know, Trigger Happy's place and you know, doing stuff outside of Rocket League that just helped us become even closer friends. So again, all my appreciation to OCC. I remember that LAN. I was talking to Hargan because he was on a different team. He was with a different team at the time, and I was with, I believe, Uka and Bang. They were like technically sub-ins for the team. Like we hadn't really played together until the LAN, because Prime and Hargan, and I knew this beforehand, so it's not like they surprised me. But they told me they're going to be playing with their third, and they made the grand finals. So
Mm-hmm.
they did very solid for what they had. And I remember talking to Hargan, and he was like, "I just watched your series. I think that's the best I've ever seen you play." And I just felt so like so happy. Like I was like, "That's incredible. I appreciate that." Like I was putting in the hours for this thing that, in the grand scheme of things, like um, didn't have much like. I don't know how to explain it. Like it was such a small event in the Rock League thing, but for me it was everything. Like obviously like RLCS at the time is like millions of dollars, right? Um, and CRL is like also like tens of thousands. But just these smaller like tight knit tournaments where you get to meet players like on the bubble or like A players who are um, who you almost look up to, right? Like you see them in pro lobbies in twos, and it's like it's incredible. Now I'm playing against them and I'm winning games. It's like it's so cool. So without that, it's like you don't have the opportunity um, to do that, and that just that yeah. Anyways, and shout out to the B and C team as well. They don't exist anymore at York. We only have one team, but yeah, those guys are super cool as well, and I coached them so much. They appreciated that. So um, yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, I remember one of the other things about that land that I thought was very cool because that was sort of the very first land, the Campus Carball Cup event, December 2023, was it?
23. Okay.
Goodness, God, that feels so long ago now. But we're going into our fourth semester of like actual competition. We didn't do any in winter 24. because that's when I was wrapping up my second to last year of university. We're just coming off of doing like the big project because the Campus Carball started as a school project for me. So everybody you see in the server still, for those who are not sort of like legacy members, with the Free Play Productions tag is my original production crew for that event. And uh, really appreciate those guys because this was sort of like my child of an idea to do this like LAN at TMU with the gaming hub and things like that. And you sort of had that moment where you were like seeing players that you'd looked up to for a really long time. And I remember I had that moment with Freshness on. Who was on Algonquin at the time, used to play for Ghost as sort of like a bubble pro for a long time. And I remember back in, what was it, 20, I forget if it was 16 or 17, but there was a Canadian championship that was held, or like Canadian Open Cup or something that was held at the Scotiabank Theater down by like OCAD campus almost. And I guess even past that. And I went, and he was playing in that tournament, and I think got second on a team named Him Tortons, I'm pretty sure, which is one of my favorite team names because they edited the Tim Hortons logo and switched the first two letters. Was pretty great. But I remember seeing him play that. I was like, oh, that's really cool because he was one of the main like Canadian guys who I was like very impressed with at that time, and I knew he was relatively young, but it was cool to like see him in person at this event that I was running like 4 or 5 years later, and sort of had that kind of moment with that too. And so it's like one of the fueling sort of things is like being able to provide a space like that for the community, and I really do enjoy putting this stuff on for those moments like that, and why I feel like it's really important to have at least one LAN every year for OCC, because that's sort of what it's been built off of, is like my love of not only Rocket League but like live events and the collegiate scene, and all combined into this like one thing that I find really fun. And so I'm glad that you guys have historically enjoyed it. I know last semester was a bit of a turbulent one. You guys ended up having to forfeit the matches at the LAN, unfortunately, last winter, but you guys were able to make it out into the fall one and did perform pretty well as sort of perennial like fringe premier team. Now coming into the season, ranked number 2. Does that have any more weight on your back, or is it mostly just enjoying the fact that you're playing with Bosco and Nitro now?
I mean, to me, it's like it makes those like hard to win series like what would previously have been hard to win, like a Lev Soares matchup on Brock, like fully winnable, and it just it's incredible to me, and it makes me feel like I can like compete at that higher level. Like already, like my peak MMR has gone up by like over 100 since I started talking to these guys like 2 or 3 months ago, and they've just helped me a lot. So that makes a huge difference. And then like it gives us something to talk about too, because they're like, okay, so how did that land go, and what did you learn? And like I don't know, they're asking me like a bunch of questions about it, and it's so cool that I can be like that sort of like role model in a sense, and yeah, I just get them excited about it for like these tournaments. So it's really cool. And I just wanted to say, back at that first LAN you were mentioning, it was a school project. It's just like, I hope you ace that because it was so cool. Like the fact that you had a media day where we could get our headshots, and then a couple years later, Nitro or Bosco is bringing this up in the stream, and it's like, dude, this is you on land with your headshot doing like a pose or something. It's like, yeah, I was there. I did that. That was cool. You're gonna do that too. And they're just like, yes, let's go. That's so cool. Because like realistically, like 99.9% of the time, you're not playing on LAN at like an RLCS. You're probably not playing LAN at CRL unless we absolutely pop off. It's like just having this opportunity, like this, like the St. Clair LAN, rumors of maybe even a Durham LAN, like all these just really, you know, like the fact that like it's a possibility that we could come out here and win this the OCC against like St. Clair, because we have a Bosco on our team. It's just incredible. So yeah, just to sum it up, like I'm just so excited. Like I really am excited, even though it's my last semester and I'm not competing after that. It's like I'm just excited for the team, and I'm definitely sticking around as like a coach advisor kind of role to make sure they're doing all right, and just to be friends with them, because I consider them very close friends now, after knowing them for just like a few months. So yeah, it's great.
Ah, the wonders of Rocket League and community building. So, a couple of pillars of OCC right there. And yeah, thank you for taking the time to chat a little bit about your experiences and going through all of the lands and things that we've done. And looking forward to seeing you at our land at the end of April or early May. Still figuring out exactly the date and location of that, but we should have that nailed down by the time the fall major rolls around. So we should be announcing that on the Sunday, much like they do generally for like RLCS and things. They'll announce like the world's location in the like first major on the Sunday or whatever is like the big reveal. And so I think we're going to do something similar to that in terms of our release schedule for that information. So strap in for that at the beginning of December is when we should have that going for fully public. So there's your first little teaser of like LAN. Ooh. But yes, thank you for taking the time to talk, Noah. It's been a pleasure, and good luck to York this season.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, we're casting in 15 minutes, so we won't need luck because we're just gonna win every game. I'm out there. I'm ready. I'm so confident in the fellas. I've seen the way they're playing. They're playing really solid, and yeah, I'm very excited. So thank you so much, and yeah, that's it.
When we come back, York versus Sheridan at 8 o'clock.